everyone, and welcome to the channel. My name is Kareth, and I'm really thankful you're here with me today. I'm excited to share a recipe with you for some chicken and mushrooms. On my channel, I really like to open up cans of freeze-dried food and show you some recipes of what to make with it, both for everyday cooking and for long-term food storage if you like to prep meals in advance. This is the channel for you. Today's recipe is for chicken and mushrooms, and I'm going to add some spinach to it. Here's a list of ingredients you'll need if you want to make this recipe, and I'll put the exact measurements down in the description box below the video. I had marinated some chicken thighs because Drew and I were going to grill that night, or we thought we were. And so I had marinated these in the fridge that day, and then a storm blew in and we realized that we just weren't going to be able to grill. So I shifted. And I thought, yeah, I'll just make some chicken and mushrooms because it's a delicious dinner and it's really quick. It comes together in probably 20-25 minutes. So when I pulled these out of the marinade, I just was really not impressed with the quality of these chicken thighs. There was quite a bit of fat on them that I needed to trim off. And anyway, I spent some time trimming these. And since it was just Drew and me, I only cut up 2 chicken thighs for this meal. This is something you can adjust. You could make more of this, or you could, cut this in half and just make enough for one person. But what I did was I cut this chicken thigh up into chunks or bite-sized pieces. And since it was already marinated and it had been seasoned and there was a lot of flavor in there already, I didn't season the flour that I was going to put it in. You don't need to marinate this. You could just put some salt and pepper, garlic powder, paprika, something like that on your chicken, and then season your flour as well. And what you want to do is just coat the chicken in the flour. Just get it nice and covered. I just sort of massage that flour into the chicken. And then what we're going to do is do a little pan fry and some olive oil and butter. Even though it's just a couple of chicken thighs, I went ahead and got out a large skillet. I put a couple tablespoons of olive oil down in the bottom and then turned on the heat. And then I added a tablespoon of butter. And I just wanted to sift out some of the excess flour and get that chicken thigh meat down in the skillet. If you put too much flour in there, it'll just burn. So you can sift it. And then I've got my heat on medium, and I'm just going to pan fry this, maybe 2 or 3 minutes aside. You don't even have to cook this all the way through. It will finish cooking in the sauce later on. So once it's browned, you can pull that out and put it in a bowl, set it to the side. We'll add it back later. And that's a really hot pan. I added some water, not only to help dissipate that heat, but also to give my freeze-dried vegetables a place to land. Since they're freeze-dried, they are completely dry, and if you put them in a really hot skillet with nothing in there, they'll just burn. So I gave them some water to land in. I forgot to show you, those were my freeze-dried mushroom pieces, and I put about a cup of those in there, about half a cup per person. And then I decided I'm just going to put my spinach in there. I was at the bottom of a can here, and that might have been maybe 1/4 cup of spinach, something like that. And I just thought I'm going to do it all in one pan. I don't want to cook a vegetable on the side. I'm doing it all together, and it turned out great. I also added some green onions here, and they were wonderful. If you don't have green onions, you could just use some chopped white onions. That's fine as well. And then I did need some more water, because I wanted all of those freeze-dried ingredients to rehydrate or refresh, and then also start to cook a little bit. I went ahead and added a tablespoon of butter there. It will add some richness and some flavor, and then also it's going to help to saute these ingredients as that water evaporates. Give that a nice stir. I went ahead and turned up my heat to a medium-high because I want that water to boil off. I added some chicken bouillon powder to that to give it some good flavor. And you'll notice once that water cooks off, those veggies are just going to saute in that butter. I eventually added about a tablespoon or so of flour. I wanted to make a roux with that butter and flour, and that's going to serve as the base for my sauce. It's going to be a white sauce, a cream sauce, and that roux is going to help to thicken the sauce. Anytime you add raw flour to a dish, take just a minute or so and saute that flour. You want to toast it because it'll taste a lot better if you do. And then I added about a cup of milk. That's just Thrive Life milk, like I used instant milk because I don't really keep milk in the house anymore. And then I like to add a little bit of red pepper flakes for the heat there. Those are optional, of course. And then I also added some black pepper and a pinch of salt to this. And I brought it to a boil, and I wanted to reduce it just a little bit. But you can tell that flour in there, that's already thickening that sauce into more of a gravy. I added about a quarter of a cup, maybe a third of a cup of heavy cream to finish out that cream sauce. The flavor is so lovely, nice and rich. It's already come up to a simmer. So I went ahead and added that chicken back into the sauce. And then I'll just give that a really nice stir. Make sure everything is coated in the sauce. And the flour that is the breading for that chicken, that's going to help thicken the sauce even more as it finishes cooking that chicken. Since it's already up to a bubble, I'm going to go ahead and cover this and then reduce my heat down to a low and let it simmer for about maybe 8 minutes or so. And while that simmered, I made some mashed potatoes. So after about 8 minutes or so, this is what it looked like. I did stir it once, about halfway through. So see how nice and thickened that sauce is? And it's just beautiful. So your chicken should be completely cooked through at this point. And of course, the veggies are going to be nice and tender. And that sauce is just beautiful. I went ahead and gave it a taste. And you can adjust your seasonings at this point. I didn't add a thing. I thought mine was perfect. And then you can serve this over mashed potatoes. It's great over rice. It would be really good over cauli rice as well. Or you could even put it over pasta. It's an amazing, flavorful, rich dish, and it's just so yummy. I added some fresh basil to the top. It was perfect in there. I really like the addition of the spinach into the chicken and mushrooms. It was so satisfying. My husband loved this. I did too. I thought it was fantastic. And it was ready in probably 20 to 25 minutes, something like that. You could do this with freeze-dried chicken. Of course, you would use a different method. You could just throw it in with the mushrooms and the spinach, and that would work as well. I love this with mashed potatoes. I think the creaminess from the mashed potatoes is great. It's just a very good dish. It's simple, but at the same time, I mean, you could definitely serve this to company. It's that good. All right, now if you enjoy cooking with freeze-dried food and you would like to have a bunch of recipes of how to use freeze-dried food for some long-term food storage or even everyday cooking, I have 2 cookbooks that I've written. They're both available in ebook form and in print. I'll link to both of those below. Well, all right, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you try this recipe and love it. Let me know what you think in the comments. I've got another verse for you today. Wanted to share with you. This one is 1 Peter 5:7, and it reads, "Cast all your anxiety on the Lord, because he cares for you." Some versions say, "He careth for you." I really love that verse, and I hope it encourages you today. All right, guys, I hope you have a wonderful week and a very blessed day. And until next time, y'all take care and keep thriving.